And God kept putting him back in our lives for a reason. I'm 58 years old. Did I want another kid at 7 years old? Probably not. I'm trying to help, look after grandkids and stuff like that. But he just kept coming back to us. When Zane was, I think, like 2, we just had him for a weekend, and he went back. And a short time after that, the people that had it, they let Zane go back into the system, and so they called us again because we'd kind of like got out of the out of the loop or whatever stuff, and said asked if we would just keep him for the weekend, and so we did. So he came in, uh, you know, and during the weekend was, we questioned where he was going or whatever stuff, and they said that they didn't have a home for him at the time, that he would just be staying at the DHS in Harrisburg. And so I told my wife Nannette that we weren't going to do that. So we took him in again and kept him for a while and had him for, I don't remember, I think maybe 4 to 6 months or something like that stuff. And we'd stayed in contact with some family members of his and stuff. And because, we just wanted that relationship and him to have that relationship. And it wound up working that he had an aunt that got approved to take him and stuff. And so he left us again. And we get a call later down the road that something had happened and that Zane was going back into the system. So they asked if, because we was very familiar with Zane and everything and stuff and everything, the situation, they asked if we would be willing to take him back in, and we did. And I'd always said that if he came available to be adopted, we would be open to that situation. And so when that with the relatives happened and stuff, then it opened the door. And God kept putting him back in our lives for a reason. And I mean, I'm 58 years old. Did I want another kid at 7 years old? Probably not. I'm trying to help, look after grandkids and stuff like that. But he just kept coming back to us, and and I mean, did I really think that I would ever adopt him? No, I didn't. Even though I said I would be open to that or whatever stuff, but if it wasn't God's plan, then when he went to the aunt, then he would have we thought it was over at that point or whatever stuff. But and again, we've kept a good relationship with his aunts and even his biological dad or whatever stuff and stuff. I mean, if it's his birthday, then they're invited or whatever stuff. And so God had a reason to put him there, and I think he needed somebody like us. And so we put in the process of adopting Zane and stuff. So it's been about 2.5 years, I think, that we officially adopted Zane, everything and stuff. And so, has it been smooth and perfect? No. And like I said, he's had a lot of trauma in his life and stuff. I mean, it's like a list, and it's to see where he came from to where he's at now. It's such a huge change. It's just wonderful just watching him grow in that manner and stuff. So he is a very caring and sweet kid. I mean, stuff, and there's a gentleman here at church that's blind, and he would get Zach by the hand and lead him around, and taking places and stuff like that. And if he sees him in a church, he goes up and speaks to him or whatever and stuff. And I mean, so it's just a change in him that it had to be through God, because I mean, even though we try to teach him right or whatever and stuff, but I mean, he's a very caring kid now. I think more so. I mean, does he still fight with all of his, nieces and nephews? Yes, he does and stuff, but not near as like he did. I think. I mean, I just think there's just been such a big change in him. And like I said, when Zane first came to our house, I mean, I just felt like that we had a little connection, and but I mean, he's one of mine. He's no different than my oldest son to Zane being my youngest son. Which I have my oldest son is 35, and so the love is the same for each and every one of them and stuff. And so there's not anything that I wouldn't do for any of them.